Hi, welcome to Revenue Marketing Television, the CMO Insight Series. I'm your host, Jeff Pedowitz, President and CEO of the Pedowitz Group. Today as our guest, we have Paul Johnson, who is Chief Product and Marketing Officer for Displayit. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's a pleasure. So tell us a little bit about Displayit.
Well, essentially, we are a fabricator of exhibit booths, so to speak. So if you've ever been to a trade show and you've had to stand in front of a great big honking banner and talk to strangers for 2 or 3 days, we help folks get ready for that. We make it easy to get ready for their trade show by providing them with the backdrops and materials they would need to outfit their booth. So we essentially fabricate and ship from a suburb of Atlanta called Beaufort, Georgia, and we're essentially an e-commerce company. We sell all over the U.S. and ship within the U.S. boundaries.
So, trade shows, certainly as a participant, we go each year. And in a lot of ways, trade shows have changed. It's still a huge business, of course. But tell us a little bit about the trends from your perspective over the last 10 years. How have trade shows changed, and how is that impacting your role as a vendor?
Well, there was some talk about, with digital online meetings and whatnot, they would go away. But in reality, they've grown. Less than 10 digits a year, or less than 10 percentage points a year, still single digits, but growth nonetheless. And it's primarily because what we see is people still need to get together to see what's new. Ultimately, they want to gather in a place and they're looking to see what's new that's going to help my business or help me do well within my company. And then secondarily, it's the networking opportunity. People make connections with people all over the country, and they look forward to that time to get together and be able to sit down over coffee or lunch and be able to compare notes.
Now, many of the shows that we go to now, because it used to be we had to do a custom booth and bring it and set it up. Now, almost all the shows that we go to, the booths are normalized, right? So that it's whoever's putting on the show. The booths are standard, and we just work on the signs that go into a standard drop, but we're not actually designing the booth. Did you see that as a big trend, or is that just in some places?
I think it's sort of an awkward situation for the show promoters and the general contractors, because the people who are going to the show are looking to stand out. They're looking for something different. When you walk down those aisles and you're just seeing row after row and booth after booth that sort of look the same, it's really hard to stand out. And there's a statistic that's something like you've only got 3 seconds to get the attention of a passersby. So having a booth that's provided by the show really doesn't give the exhibitor much opportunity to stand out. And so consequently, we get people who are looking to be different and are looking for somebody who can provide them with not just a structure with a graphic hung on it, but some ideas as to, how should I structure my method or my message? How should I present it visually so that it's attractive and captures attention? And we provide some courses actually online to help folks, figure that out.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I guess you guys are experts at helping your customers get noticed at the shows that they go to.
We like to think so. And it's because we think about it all day long. Our customers typically are people who do not have a title of trade show manager. They might be the marketing exec or a Marcom manager. Sometimes it's an assistant to the president or the sales manager. So they've got a regular job to do. But 1, 2, 3, 4 times a year, it's like, oh yeah, we've got to be in Vegas next week for that blankety blank show. And so they kind of have to switch gears. And because of that, they're looking for somebody who can provide them with information at whatever level they need, whether they're a novice or whether they're looking for some more advanced input. And we try to fill that need.
So what's the coolest booth or most interesting display that you've seen in the last couple of years?
Well, when you talk about trends, about 3 years ago, maybe 4, we introduced what's called a backlit display. And so traditionally, what would happen is, like, for example, on this wall, if you could imagine it with some big honking, picture on it or logo, the common thing you see is it would be washed in light from overhead with maybe some LEDs which would perch over the top and shine down. But backlit actually has lights, usually LEDs, that are behind the graphic, which show through, and it just really makes it. It's like looking sort of at a TV set, except that it's not moving. So the latest thing, which is really pretty much brand new for us, is we just invested a big bucket of money in LED light walls. And so what this allows us to do is create a set of panels, and it can be as small or as large as you want. They're based on LED panels, which are about 19 inches square. And so we can put them together in different combinations and then put them on a facade that's facing out or facing on the eye. We can put it on towers 16 feet in the air. And as a result, you can actually show animations, you could show video, you could show a demonstration of your product, and from the show floor, it is just knock your eyes out. So we've actually started a new program with what we think is a game-changing business model that's going to make it easy for people to be able to essentially rent the structure and the LED light wall and the graphics for much less than is commonly done or traditionally done in the business.
Oh, interesting. So it sounds like you're offering some type of subscription model.
Well, it's not a subscription model, but what it is, it's more of how do you turn what's traditionally been a capital expense of, I have to buy a product, a physical thing, and I have to, because of the cost, I'm going to write it off over 3 years or 5 years and hopefully use it at a number of shows, and hopefully when I go to the show next year, I'm going to want to use the same graphics or the same message, or I'm going to be touting the same product, where in reality, we've come to the conclusion that people are moving much faster than that, and they don't want to have the same look year after year. So what we've done is we've said, instead of asking you to make a major purchase, a major investment of tens of thousands of dollars, why don't you just let us put together the look and feel that you want and essentially rent it to you for a show? Or if you think you're going to use it for multiple shows, we'd put together a package which would let you service the same booth, look, whatever you want to call it, over multiple shows, depending on what your needs are.
Yeah, I mean, it's we're seeing this business model. It's very interesting that you mention it, because we're seeing it transform every single industry. Because whether it's Uber in transportation, you want the ride, not the own the car.
Right.
We're seeing like Porsche and Cadillac now have subscription services where you don't even have to own the car, pay for insurance or maintenance. You can just get the car.
Right. It's not the same thing, but there's been a website called Rent the Runway, which allows you to, if you want to go to a big event, you're a woman and you want a knock your eyes out dress, but you probably won't wear it a second time. There's this outfit called Rent the Runway, and they'll let you pick out a dress. It could be a Vera Wang or whatever, and be able to rent it for much less than you could buy it for, with the idea of you take good care of it, you have fun at it for the night, you send it back, and you're done with it. And then somebody else can rent the same one. So there's a strange parallel there, but I'll go with it.
Yeah, no, it's a good analogy. So tell me a little bit about your business and how you're going to market. Who are some of your competitors, and what are you doing strategically to expand your business?
Yeah, fair question. Our approach has always been a little bit different, and we started as an online company. We started in '96, and we did a lot through mail order, where we would actually send out catalogs. And then in about 98, 99, we put up our first website. And then in 2002, the CEO went all in with Google AdWords. And so we've been promoting the business on a pay-per-click business literally for decades. And so as a consequence, have established quite a presence online for people that are looking for trade shows. And then secondarily, we've gotten very good at understanding how the pay-per-click model. So essentially, we take that data, we take the input that we learn from our customers, and we use that to guide our product strategy. We use it to guide how we sell. What are they looking for? What are they feeling? How can we help provide a customer experience that's going to make them happy on the first cut, and then get them to go back. Kind of the way I look at it is, it's sort of like again, being from Michigan, kind of like a snowball. And so in 1 year we pay for pay-per-click ads, which gets us new customers, and so we have this snowball of a certain size, and so we work hard to take care of that core customer base, and then the next year through more pay-per-click new customer conversions, we kind of, roll the thing down the hill and the snowball gets bigger and bigger. So it's sort of a combination of using technology and marketing to add a new layer of new customers every year while taking care of and sort of growing up with our customers. We have a lot who started with a 10 by 10 portable display who are now, coming to us for 30 by 50 foot booths.
So are there additional channels that have been effective for you in addition to online pay-per-click?
A few. We do a little bit wholesale. We have a few selected resellers who like doing business with us. We also have a channel through, oddly enough, church. We have a website called Displayit at Church, and what we found is that there's a lot of pastors with portable churches who will rent a school on a weekend or maybe an office building, and they'll need to be able to move in counters and backdrops and be able to set up a church on a Saturday, Sunday, and then take it down because the building's used for other uses. So we have that, and we're looking at some other channels that I'm not prepared to talk about, but
I actually just started. It was interesting that you mentioned that because I was just actually thinking of food trucks too for some reason, because there's a lot of now restaurateurs rather than opening up the whole restaurant.
Right.
They just do the truck, but then they also have displays next to the truck as they're trying to extend, and so they go to the fairs and things on the weekends. So It's a very similar thing. It's portable. So I'm not sure if that's one of your secret strategies or not, but
it's not. But it is now. So I guess it's not so secret, but it's brand new and fresh, and I hadn't really thought of that. And to a large degree,
I won't even take copyright credit for that. So
thank you. I appreciate that. No problem. But that's clever. Mm-hmm.
So what kind of people are you hiring onto your team? Do you have a big marketing team?
I think we're up to about 12 or 15 now, and it's actually a little broader base than most companies. And I actually grew up carrying a bag on the sales side, and one of my frustrations was in going out in direct sales and in going out and talking to people was it always seemed like the marketing message is off, the product wasn't quite right, and you'd have to kind of get almost a square peg into the round hole to be able to serve the customer. So our CEO had the wisdom to accept that it wouldn't be too clever to silo marketing. So I actually have essentially I have revenue responsibility. So I have marketing, product, as well as sales or channel management. And so what that allows me to do is be able to staff to support all three. So to generate leads, there's the pay-per-click. I have a video team that produces content for YouTube. We try to get out a couple new videos a week, and then we also have content writers on the marketing side. Have a product team which is chartered with helping to build our catalog. We have something like 950 SKUs on our online catalog. And so they're chartered with both finding new products, translating customer needs into new products, designing and specifying things that need to be made because we can't find them from suppliers, and then doing things like writing installation instructions, set up videos, and be able to support that. And then I also have a key account team, and their charter is it's sort of a different sales channel because most of our business comes in inbound through the web. But beyond that, we have some accounts which like Texas Instruments, Carnival Cruise Lines, and whatnot that we have assigned to certain people to reach out to them and make sure that on a regular basis that there's some proactive taking care of their needs.
Nice. So I love that you've kind of blended the teams together. I think a lot of organizations wish they could be doing that more to improve alignment, because when the teams are siloed, it just takes a lot of extra work. The teams are organized differently. They have different compensation plans, all that. Speaking of performance, I mean, so how your marketing team, what are they typically measured on as it relates to your sales side?
Well, the marketing is essentially how many times does the phone ring and how many leads come in. So statistically, we look at things like Google Analytics from the standpoint of how much, what ads are driving business in, what's the conversion rate, how are we doing versus cost per click, what's the cost of a new customer look like, how many of those, how many of inbound things turn into phone consultations, and then, ultimately it breaks down into revenue. So we have what we call a client relations team, whose purpose is essentially when somebody has a question, whether it's an online chat or through an email or through an inbound phone, to help them sort out what are they looking for, help them understand what their options are, and ultimately to help them make a decision. And so from a marketing side, it's really, as one of my managers once told me, it's all green to me, and it's all green to this CEO, in the sense that even though we look at different tiers of products, like whether it's in this price range or that price range, at the end of the day, there's a grand sales target to hit. So we may get mid-month and say we need to, put more effort on doing, one function over another, to be able to hit our overall targets. Does that help?
Yeah, no, that's great. So just since you've run both sales and marketing in your career, now you have it combined, what do you think have been some of the biggest changes impacting both departments?
That's a question that I guess I haven't thought of, because I look at it as a holistic lump. I think one of the most significant things is maybe being able to look at its structure. So what I mean by that is, like, for example, when things are separate, it both is an opportunity as well as potentially a curse. Like, for example, I've always thought it was a waste of a good salesperson to ask them to prospect. So the idea of A, recognizing that, and then B, separating the two functions is a way to become more productive. So because it's sort of under one roof, I can do that. We recently separated the product team into what we're calling a product management team and a product strategy team. And the reason for that is because we're trying to innovate and come up with new products and provide, new offerings or kits or combinations of things to fulfill needs that we learned from marketing, and that goes to the product team. But what would happen is the single product team would get bogged down with things like, a wheel fell off of a case, a customer called, a customer complaint. And so now we have to deal with that customers and then decide, is this a trend? Is there some defect? And so it reminded me when I was back in the software business, where we would try to come up with enhancements to improve the product so that we could be more competitive. But at the same time, we had the bug fix issue, right? So the bug fixes are what ticked off our clients, and so we had to address those. But while we were addressing those, we couldn't actually improve the product and improve our competitive position. So as a consequence, the idea of being able to have the structure set up to be able to let people focus on what they're supposed to do is I don't know if it's a luxury, but I think it's more of a necessity, right?
I like it. Yeah. So really fascinating business you're in, and I love the snowball analogy, and just in terms of getting the customer, keeping rolling it down.
Right.
Great stuff. And we have a lot of trade shows coming up next year, so we're going to have to check you guys out, I think.
Yeah, happy to help you. Even though we sell online, we do have a showroom here in Beaufort. So, if you'd like to come by, I'd be happy to give you the nickel tour.
I would love that. Actually, that could be a next segment, right? We can do a tour of the plant, tour of the factory.
Sure. Yeah. It's actually if growing up in Detroit, I've spent a lot of time in million square foot auto plants, and I have sort of a affection for manufacturing. And so because we actually go from start to finish here, we have large printers that you could dance on. I mean, they're big honking things, and I could actually show you or your viewers how we actually take something from a concept like, I think I want that and I want my logo on it, and kind of show you all the way through to, we have automated cutters and flatbed CNC machines and all kinds of stuff, and then ultimately the finished product. So
that would be really cool.
Yeah,
Paul, thank you so much for your insights, and thank you for being on the program today.
Yeah, happy to do it, and rock on.
All right.